Welcome back. On Sunday, February 26th, a speeding Via train came off the tracks in Aldershot in West Burlington. The scene of twisted train cars, paramedics, firefighters and police, as well as the injured passengers, was chaotic, but with incredible calm. Beyond the tragic loss of the 3 Via employees in the front of the first car, the first responders managed to get everyone else off the train safely. Now, a few days after the shocking incident, I sat down with several of the rescuers from the scene that day for an exclusive interview. Here is some of what they had to say about that seemingly unreal event. For most of the people whose job it is to try and save lives or help people in distress every day, this was a scene they'd never come across in their careers. A Via passenger train had careened off the tracks, sending the cars full of people in different directions and tossing them around inside. When the cars finally stopped, the 911 calls started flooding in. This was a massive emergency, and for the crews on call that day, this was going to be a challenge.
And what I did was talk to somebody at the end of each car to find out what they had inside, and the first car was the worst. So I crawled into that car.
And when you got inside the car, what were you seeing there?
There was a gentleman in a wheelchair. The wheelchair's tied in at the corner, and he's over on this side. And I basically just crawled through and talked to everybody.
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
You know, we have to continually keep coming back to them and reassessing them and making sure nothing has changed. When we have the resources, we finally will assign a medic to specifically go and physically assess all of those patients to make sure we haven't missed an injury.
With firefighters and paramedics first on scene and working side by side in the cars, police arrive. For them, the derailment raises a set of different challenges and some serious questions.
Who's to say it couldn't happen here just as easy as anywhere else? But was there a criminal act that preceded the train? Was it caused by some outside source or organization? These are questions that we, when responding, don't have answers to.
You're getting on board this derailed train. How do you know that it's secure? How do you feel comfortable going in and putting yourself at risk like that?
Well, first of all, you have to check scene safety to make sure that it is safe around, no fluids, glass, any electrical hazards as well too. But mostly you just have to sort of weigh the options and go for it.
And while the crews went for it, they achieved something remarkable. Each of them told me how much their training kicked in, getting them past the adrenaline rush and potentially overwhelming sense of the severity of the call. And they all agree that working together, they managed to get all 45 passengers off the train and to hospital if necessary in under 90 minutes. But it wasn't easy. It
was awkward in the car because it was on a funny angle. So everybody had to chip in and pass that backboard through the train, and that was over and over.
And while focused on the task at hand, they couldn't help but be impressed with what was happening.
I remember looking up and seeing an officer standing on the arms of the chairs, of the seats, kind of crawling down and assisting inside. And just for a minute thought, isn't that extraordinary?
But it wasn't just the first responders who helped in the crisis. Several civilians on board the train did what they could to help that day, and they were recognized for their roles as unsung heroes by Burlington's mayor. A class action lawsuit in the case has been given the green light to go forward. Several passengers are looking for compensation for physical and emotional injury, property damage, and a loss of income. The investigation so far has found the train was traveling at more than 100 kilometers per hour when it came off the track. In that stretch, the limit is 24 kilometers per hour.